Alright, you put your balance up. Just like that.
God damn.
Just like that. Just like that.
God damn.
Just like that.
It actually feel like a home run, like when someone hit the bat and it just right on the target and it go.
Gervonta Davis promised to return to the training camp just 1 week after his fight against Lamont Roach, and the World Boxing Association lightweight champion has lived up to his expectation as he spends his 3rd week in training camp. What was different about this week is that while he had been lying low and training silently for the past few weeks, he has decided to grant interviews and attend to the media this week.
God damn.
In an interview that came after he was done with some rounds of sparring, Gervonta Davis was asked why he had reduced his resting time so much, seeing how much Lamont Roach has been all over the place attending interviews and meetings. He claimed he has a point to prove to the boxing community, and his rest was only going to come after proving that point. According to Gervonta Davis, the fight against Lamont Roach was an eye-opener that revealed so much about his distractions and challenges, and the reason why he resumed training so early was to conquer himself. I've got to tame myself and put myself under more control. This rematch is all I have in front of me, and I won't relax till I bury this the right way. It's funny how his opponent, Lamont Roach, has been granting interviews. He has been appearing on countless media platforms since the fight on March 1st. Well, Tank didn't care about what Lamont Roach was doing with his time? I really don't care. That's none of my business. He should do whatever he wants. It's however dangerous for Lamont Roach if he earned the love of many by giving Tank a hard time, only to perform woefully in the rematch.
And it go far, it's just like that. So that's how I feel when you actually hit somebody on the butt and you know that you catch them real good. So that's how I feel for me.
But Tank wasn't even minding Roach's level of preparation. He said he would put him to bed and end his career when they meet for the rematch. After the interview, where Tank really poured out his heart and spoke about his plans for the fight, Tank began doing some body exercises, stretches, and push-ups. The lightweight world champion has gotten booed by the audience quite a few times during the course of his career. And to avoid what happened in his last fight, where he was booed by an audience that expected way more from him than the disappointing performance that he showed, especially with the funny incident in the 9th round, he has now taken his training intensity to the next level. After his body exercises, the world champion got on the mitts and punching bag testing his punch power. Afterwards, he engaged in some sparring with an unknown sparring partner before taking a short break. He then looked to get camera and said, "No break until I break him up." According to a reputable news source, Gervonta Davis is already working on his fitness and is almost at the best shape for his reach against Lamont Roach. And to begin the road to revival that promoter Leonard Ellerby said he understood in a chat for The Laboratory with Plaz. Leonard Ellerby claimed he understood all that was going on with Tank. Things are different when you have kids. It changes your life completely. He believes Tank sees things differently than he did 6 or 7 years ago. If that's what he said, that he's shunning the ideas of retirement, and we all heard it, Leonard Ellerby said of Gervonta's retirement announcement. Ellerby believes life is so much more than something you do for a living. You have respect for the fans who pay their money to see you fight, but you have a life outside of boxing. They want you to keep doing this, and they really don't care about your health afterwards. Ellerby described boxing as a brutal sport in which many boxers of the past have been taken advantage of in different ways and also had different health problems.
go, let's go.
They went through a lot of health problems, a lot of permanent things, though there's the philosophy that you get into the sport and leave your mark, and then you leave it there. Everyone's opinion is different, and everyone has different goals in life. Ellerby believes...
One time, nothing else. Come on, time, but nothing else. I'm gonna touch him up, something nice. 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 Always supposed to be.
One of the clear reasons why Gervonta Davis has resumed so early for the rematch is due to how his first fight went and how disappointed he is with his performance. He has once spoken about his greatest fear, and the World Boxing Association lightweight champion just seems so certain that if nothing changes about his preparation, his fears will come to pass. One tidbit, Tank admits his biggest fear is embarrassment. "I'm not trying to go out and get my butt kicked," he states. Makes more sense now why he fights the way he does. Strange for such a heavy-fisted type. Taking in data and being risk-averse for long stretches of early rounds. It's about staying alive, about survival, which is understandable when factoring in his quite rugged upbringing, though creating an impressive training montage is not especially difficult, as everybody duped into thinking Mike Tyson would beat Jake Paul should now know much of I Hate Losing is dedicated to Davis's training footage. Davis offered a slightly different spin on the title, and Hunter's recollection of his biggest fear, he said he most wanted to avoid being embarrassed. Boxing scene's own Kieran Mulvaney has said on many a podcast episode that fighters hate being clowned above all else. It appears Tank is no different, and he seeks to avoid that shame by preparing hard. "You become this meme," Davis said of fighters who get embarrassed, laughing as he followed with a phrase from another meme, "I ain't got time for that." Roach, meanwhile, is initially introduced to the viewer with his desire for big fights. He said the prospect of a Davis fight was an instant yes, and the mean breakfast bowl he eats during training camp. Roach is painted as relaxed and easygoing, especially compared to Tank. We get more time with Roach, training in Plant City, FLA. He clearly said that he thought he was going to beat Gervonta Davis mercilessly with a chuckle. How much does he believe that? Only he knows the real deal. Roach can cook, we see. The Reaper seems light in camp, no surprise, he's a lifer. He, like Tank, has negotiated the in and out of the ring's ups and downs. He's a wild card, says Roach of Tank, citing last month's rumor that the fight was off. Was it Tank exerting power to get more guaranteed money? That's a good guess.
He gonna be a damn fool. He trying to watch me the first half of the fight. He gonna be down, and then next thing you know, the last bell gonna ring. They gonna be like, ding, 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 winner, Lamont Rematch.
Okay, but while people is watching your technique, say you don't get him down and he measures your technique. I'm just saying, this is what I've seen.
Aside from the fact that it's a rematch, it's actually a unique matchup. When you consider the fact that the two fighters are world champions, only that they fight in different weight classes. And as such, despite them being world champions, the fight isn't a unified world title fight. However, just like we saw in the first match, Lamont Roach, as a world champion, brings something very different that almost all of Gervonta Davis's recent opponents lack, and that's his size. Gervonta Davis is used to fighting bigger fighters, who for the sake of a title shot and a huge payday, carelessly get weight drained ahead of the fight and end up with lackluster performances as a result. Well, the same doesn't apply for Lamont Roach, who will instead be moving up in weight to the 135-pound lightweight division for the second time, where Gervonta Davis currently fights at. Hence, Lamont Roach is expected to be in the ring on fight night, looking better than Frank Martin, Ryan Garcia, and many of Gervonta Davis's recent opponents, who looked like they were on a rehydration clause when they faced. This is another huge factor that could see the rematch go the exact way their main fight went.
Not really trying to get in his personal business. Probably just showing him that, you know, I could do anything, especially in your backyard.
Nonetheless, Davis is preparing in the gym for his upcoming test and appears to be taking things very seriously, even way more seriously than he did in his first fight. And the reason isn't far-fetched. The Baltimore champion and his next opponent, Lamont Roach, have a rich history together. Their match on March 1st is now a huge part of their history. However, there's also history before history. And if there's a fighter that'll test both his weapons and his resolve, Lamont Roach is that fighter. And just like when Gervonta Davis made a shocking revelation about himself, saying his biggest fear is the fear of being embarrassed and mocked by boxing fans, the kind of mockery his previous opponent got after getting knocked out by Tank some months ago.
Where goes up, come down, my
Sir, come on, quick. Drop those hips. Nice, come on. Give me that explosion. Rip.
He had been captured in slow motion, with his face distorted by Gervonta Davis's punch and his lips and cheeks flying miles away from their usual position before he lay to the ground and remained there till the count was over. Tank fears such a scenario, and in order to avoid that, he's giving his very best in training. Lamont made promises to teach Gervonta Davis a lesson, while Gervonta Tank Davis has pledged to break him up.
Imagine the life of a boxer, an existence honed by meticulous preparations.
And they are in talk.
Right now, Roach's name is ringing bells because he fought a draw with Tank. So it would be the right thing to do to call his name, you know? I just don't see Shakur taking chances with Roach.
When Gervonta Davis selected Lamont Roach Jr. as his opponent last year, few anticipated the fight would conclude in a controversial majority draw, creating division among boxing fans. Roach pushed Davis to the brink on March 1st in New York, with the 9th round becoming a major talking point. Shortly after landing a combination, Davis took a knee, hurried to his corner, and had coach Calvin Ford wipe his face before resuming the fight. Referee Steve Willis started a 10 count but halted it when Davis continued, meaning no official knockdown was recorded. This decision stirred debate, as similar situations typically result in a knockdown ruling.
That ain't the reality of the sport. You're going to get hit. Somewhere you're going to get hit. You know?
When you look at that matchup, is it entertaining, or does Shakur make the entertainment less due to, you know, the styles with Roach and
yeah, he'll make it less entertainment because of his style. You know, Roach coming to fight. We just seen it.
Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach have begun a very heated rivalry that looks to now go well beyond boxing, especially after the result of their fight on March 1st that saw Lamont Roach get an unlucky majority draw against the Baltimore champion. While they used their punches on fight night, they have now used the tools of social media to throw punches, and it's getting really heated. The ring of Twitter, formerly known as X, has been filled with virtual blood and wounds from the punches these men have thrown at each other. And now they jump to an Instagram live session that got so intense that they both had no choice but to promise each other a rematch. But this happened after Lamont Roach got some very shocking news from the New York State Athletic Commission.
No, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me regardless. I told him to leave his moms and, you know, the people home, and he still broke them. It's crazy, man. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad, man. But, you know, it's all love.
The New York State Athletic Commission has delivered its final verdict following the knockdown controversy which surrounded Gervonta Davis's draw with Lamont Roach on March 1st. Davis retained his WBA lightweight title at the Barclays Center in New York, with the fight ending in a majority draw. Two judges scored the bout 114-114, with another scoring it 115-113 for Davis. In the 9th round, Davis took a knee following a series of punches from Roach.
Say, why not? What you talking about? He like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I said, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing work. It's sad to say, you know, that's how boxing work. I'm not like totally upset. I figured with a superstar.
Although referee Steve Willis started to count, he stopped doing so after he reached 3. Davis had gone to his corner complaining that he had something in his eye. After stopping the count, Willis allowed Davis to get his eye cleaned prior to restarting the contest. Fans were left frustrated with the officiating, while Roach would have won the fight had a knockdown been given. As reported by ESPN, the New York State Athletic Commission have upheld the result, which ended in a majority draw. The commission's ruling stated that, following an extensive after-the-fact review of the footage of the 9th round, that the most appropriate call would have been for the referee to determine that Mr. Davis's knee contacting the canvas constituted a knockdown.
I damn sure thought I had it, especially when they announced the score for him. I was like, oh, they gonna give me a split decision win. I was like, oh, yes.
However, the determination of whether a knockdown occurred in that instance was within the discretion and authority of the referee. It was also stated that if a knockdown had been called, it would have been impossible to know if the final 3 rounds would have stayed the same. The New York State Athletic Commission claimed that instant replay technology was not working during the fight. After the fight, Davis said that he took a knee because grease from a hair treatment burned his eyes.
But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, man, my eye is over with. So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
The boxing world expected fireworks when Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. stepped into the ring, but no one anticipated the controversy that followed. After the WBA super featherweight title bout ended in a disputed draw, Roach's team appealed to the New York State Athletic Commission, hoping for an overturned decision. However, despite acknowledging a referee's mistake in the 9th round, the commission ruled that the draw would stand. Roach Jr., clearly frustrated by the outcome, has only one way to settle the score, getting Davis back in the ring. But how soon will that happen? According to his promoter, the fight is almost a done deal, though some final steps remain.
In my view, that I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound-for-pound fighter.
In a recent interview with ProBox TV, Roach's promoter Gary Jonas gave fans a promising update. A clip shared by Thrill Boxing on Instagram quoted Jonas saying the rematch is very close, and in his mind, a done deal. However, he admitted that formalities still need to be sorted out before anything is official. Jonas also hinted at a new and improved Gervonta Davis stepping into the ring this time. The Baltimore-born fighter, who has been teasing retirement, might come back sharper and more aggressive than ever. He's probably going to be angry, probably more woken up, probably more focused than he had been, Jonas stated.
That I am myself.
Gary, when you look at the result of this, do you think there's need to be systemic changes in boxing where someone can say, as Jack Reese told us when we broke this down and got his opinions about all this, he goes, well, it's referees' discretion. It's referees. We heard that over and over and over again. And
while Davis remains quiet on the details, Roach Jr. has been vocal about his desire for revenge. Frustrated by how the first fight played out, he recently took to social media to push for the rematch, even going as far as betting $250K on the outcome. With Davis reportedly aiming to settle the score by the end of May, the anticipation is at an all-time high. The only question now is, will the champion go ahead and rewrite his wrong, or would he just put in another display that'll make the boxing world believe he's truly done? And this is something many are believing already, and that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.